Hello. In the following video we will take a look at questions on pollination. So hopefully by the end of this video you will be able to answer the questions in this topic. So we have over here question saying flowers are the organs of sexual reproduction in plants. Before fertilization and seed development can take place, pollination must occur, right? This can be either self-pollination or cross-pollination. Now maybe I can just give you a highlight. When we have two plants again, when we have two plants, it has a flower here. Wait, let me just draw two plants first. Okay, it has a flower here and a flower here, and then another flower is here. Now when these and these meet, we say this is a cross. We say this is a cross pollination. Okay, cross pollination. And when these and these meet, we say this is a self-pollination. Okay, means the plant is self-pollinating itself. Okay, so explain the meaning of the term self-pollination. Now, the self-pollination is when the anther from the plant, it's when the pollen grains it's when the pollen grains come from the anther of the same plant to the stigma. Okay, I mean, you see the same flower of the same plant, they give each other. So that's what. Now let's see, transfer of pollen from anther to stigma on the same flower. Okay, on the same flower or plant. So in this case there is the same plant. Okay, so transfer of pollen grains. So one thing, for one reason, you should know this diagram. I mean, you must be familiar with this diagram. Let me show you. Yep, this one. Yeah. Oops, that's too large. I think it won't fit here. But then you should know that the diagram where there is stigma and anther. Okay, anther is the male reproductive and stigma is the female. So pollen grains moves from the anther to the stigma of the same plant. Then explain why cross-pollination may be more beneficial to a species than self-pollination. Now look, there is this cross and there is this self. Okay. Now in what ways can this cross-pollination be more beneficial? So you can name the ways. You can say, for example, when the cross-pollination takes place, genetic variation takes place, producing a species with the best features. Okay. Okay. So genetic variation. Then the other thing is increased heterozygosity. And we know that if there is heterozygosity, the hybrid vigor increases, as we had said in speciation. If you came across artificial selection, you will figure out that in artificial selection and compared to natural selection, in natural selection there is high heterozygosity, and therefore there is the hybrid vigor. The hybrid vigor is increased. Okay, I mean there is hybrid vigor, means there is more intensity of outbreeding than inbreeding. Okay, I hope you're getting my point. There are many variables here. There is inbreeding. Many things you should be familiar with. There is inbreeding. Inbreeding simply means that organism of the organisms breed within themselves, like the same group or the same species. Okay, while outbreeding they tend to go to a different group. For example, if there is a pride of lions, inbreeding will mean that this pride of lions met among themselves. But then outbreeding means this pride of lions prefer going out and breeding with these ones. And the same way, if there is cross-pollination, first of all there is genetic variation, and then this will increase heterozygosity, and so hybrid vigor will be increased, okay, and able to adapt to changing conditions, okay. And so you know the genetic variation, the importance of genetic variation is that it can make you able to adapt to changing conditions. Maybe I can show you the point. I didn't get the point, but then I think you get it, that if there is genetic variation, there is no ability to adapt to changing conditions. Okay, idea of some individuals surviving, and reduced risk of expression of harmful recessive alleles. Reduced risk of expression of harmful recessive alleles. Now, if there is only inbreeding, means that these harmful recessive alleles will never go away. But then, if there is cross-pollination, cross-breeding, which means that these recessive alleles can be dominated by a dominant allele, and so they will be disappearing. Okay, we won't get them in phenotypes. Hope I'm making my point clear. So I guess you know what I'm talking about right now. And the only point which is very important, or which you can maybe get confused with, is this hybrid vigor. And hybrid vigor simply means, as I said before, means the ability to outbreed. Okay, I mean, in other words, a plant which is a stud, okay, he can outbreed and all that. So hope I made my point clear. I'll see you in the next video.